हरे कृष्ण। ओम ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। Hare Krishna. So we'll continue our discussion on Prabhupada's purport. It's a very important sections answering very fundamental questions also. Why Lord is doing what He's doing? What is this material creation, about sufferings, and about why do we forget our past lives? So many things we can get answers from Kunti Maharani's prayers. And before answering them, we'll just read some purports and we'll discuss. Prabhupada answered some of the questions, and Kunti Maharani herself is answering some of the questions. These questions are very helpful for our practice of devotion service. And before we just start, we will just recite the prayers first. Sri Kunti Uvacha Namaste. This is Ekadasi, so very nice day to recite Bhagavatam. Namaste Purusham Tvadyam Ishwaram Prakrite Param Alaksham Sarva Bhutanam Antarbhairavasthitam Maya Javanika Channam Agnya Dukshajam Abhyayam Nalaksashe Modadasham Nato Natyadaro Yata Tata Paramahamsana Munina Mamalatmana Bhakti Yoga Vidhanartham Kadam Pashyemahi Striyah Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nandagopakumaraya Govindaya Namah Namah Pankajanaಭಾಯ Namah Pankajamaline Namah Pankajanetraya Namaste Pankajangraye Yatha Rishikesha Kalena Devaki Kamsena Ruddhati Chiram Sucharpitam Vimohitaham Cha Sahatmaja Vibho Tvayeva Natena Muhurvipatranam Vishanmagme Purushada Darshanat Asat Sabhaya Vanavasa Kritsrita Made Made Neha Maharata Sito Domastaschasmi Hare Birakshita Vipadasantuta Shashwatatta Tatra Jagatpuro Bhavato Darshanam Yasyada Punarbhava Darshanam Janmaishwarya Sutasri Bhiredamanamada Puman Naivartam Vidatubhai Tvamakinchana Vocharam Nama Kinchana Vittaya Nirvitta Guna Vittaye Atma Ramaya Shantaya Kaivalya Pataye Namaha Manye Tvam Kalamishana Manadinidanam Vipum Samam Charantam Sarvatra Bhutanam Yanmitah Kaligi Naveda Kaschid Bhagavam Chikirshitam Tave Hamanasya Ninam Vidambanam Nayasya Kaschid Daitosti Karshitid Veshyash Asmin Vishamamatenyanam Janma Karma Cha Vishwatman Jasya Karturatmanah Tiryannisishiyadishu Tadatyanta Vidambanam Gopya Dade Tvaikata Gasidham Tavatyate Dashashur Kalilanjana Sambramaksham Vaktram Niniya Bhavanaya Sutasya Saman Vimoheti Bhirapyad Viveti Kechidahurajam Jatam Punyashlokasya Kirtha Yedo Priyasanvaya He Malayasyeva Chandanam Apare Vasudevasya Devakyam Yachito Bhagadajasya Kshemaya Vadaya Chasradvisham Avataranaanye Bhunamo Yodado Sidantya Bhuri Bharena Jato Yakam Bhuarpita Mavesmin Kushamananam Vidya Kama Karmati Shravana Smaranarhani Karishanyati Kechana Shinmanti Gayanti Punanta Vikšnasha Smaranti Nandanti Tavehitam Jana Tayeva Pashyanta Chireva Tavatam Bhava Pravaho Paramam Padambujam Apyadannastum Sakridehita Prabhu Jihasisi Sudo Anujeevinaha Eshamne Chanyat Bhavata Padambujat Parayanam Raj Yojitaham Saha Kevayam Nama Rupabhyam Idubissaha Pandava Bhavato Darshanam Yogi Kanam Neyam Cho Vishyate Tatra Itadinam Gadadara Tatpadairanika Vati Sulakshana Vilakshane Ime Janapada Sutta Supaksho Shadvirudhavanadinadyavan Vedante Taurishte Ada Vishvesha Vishwatman Vishnamurti Svakesham Sneha Pasham Chindi Dharam Pandisha Vishnishu Tvaimenanya Vishayamatir Madhupataya Satat Pratimuddhato Mudhange Yogam Vadanmati Hey Krishna Krishna Saka Vishnu Shabhavane Dirprajanyavam Shadhana Pavarta Virya Govinda Godvija Surati Hara Avatara Yogeshwara Kilaguru Bhagavan Namaste. Hare Krishna. So, some of the questions we'll see. Try to answer some of the questions which are very important. Before that, we'll just read one, two purports and then we'll go for the discussion on it. Ime janapada asvita sapakshausha veda Anadir Natyodhanmanto Hedante Tavikshite. All these cities and villages are flourishing in all respects because the herbs and grains are in abundance. The trees are full of fruits, the rivers are flowing, the hills are full of minerals, and the oceans full of wealth. And this is all due to your glance over them. So, flourishing of villages and cities are because of grains and herbs and fruits and flowers and minerals and wealth. And that is because Krishna's glance over it. And Prabhupada writes very nice purport. Human prosperity flourishes by natural gifts and not by gigantic industrial enterprises. The gigantic industrial enterprises are products of a godless civilization and they cause the destruction of the noble aims of human life. The more we go on increasing such troublesome industries to squeeze out the vital energy of human being, the more there will be unrest and dissatisfaction of the people in general. Although a few only can live lavishly by exploitation, the natural gifts such as grains and vegetables, fruits, rivers, the hills of jewels and minerals, and the seas full of pearls are supplied by the order of the Supreme, and as he desires, material nature produces them in abundance, restrains them at times. The natural law is that the human being may take advantage of this godly gift by nature and satisfactorily flourish on them without being captivated by the exploitative motive of lording it over material nature. The more we attempt to exploit material nature according to our whims of enjoyment, the more we shall become entrapped by the reactions of such exploitative items. If we have sufficient grains, roots, vegetables, and herbs, then what is the necessary of running a slaughterhouse and killing poor animals? A man need not kill an animal if he has sufficient grains and vegetables to eat. The flow of river water fertilizes the fields, and there is more than what we need. Minerals are produced in the hills and the jewels in the ocean. If the human civilization has sufficient grains, minerals, jewels, water, milk, etc., then why should it hanker after terrible industrial enterprise at the cost of labor of some unfortunate men? But all these natural gifts are dependent on the mercy of the Lord. What we need, therefore, is to be obedient to the laws of Lord and achieve the perfection of human life by devotional service. The indication by Kunti Devi are just to the point. She desires that God's mercy be bestowed upon them so that natural prosperity be maintained by His grace. Very nice, Prabhupada is indicating. This is a very important point. Now, if we see all these advanced countries, they're nicely enjoying certain facilities. They're nicely enjoying certain they're nicely enjoying certain all these luxuries and all, and goods are at a very cheaper price. Why? Because there is countries like China where people they work for very cheap labor and very unhygienic conditions they work on, and because of which these developed countries they get so much luxury and all. Prabhupada is telling that's what. So why should it hanker after terrible industrial enterprise at the cost of labor of some unfortunate men? And there are not one too many, millions and millions of unfortunate men who are working day and night. And some of the statistics are every week 2-3 employees commit suicide in Apple industry in China because they don't get leave for months and months and months. If you want to apply leave, it is 8 months, 6 months before you have to apply for a leave. Otherwise, you lose your job. And they work in a very terrible conditions. But here, people enjoy the laptops, the Apple laptops, Apple phones, and all. But people who are working there, they're actually in a very terrible state. So the point is what? For few people's luxury, so many people has to work hard. This is what. Otherwise, China was previously it was nicely agro. Everybody has their own village, their farm, their land, and they cultivated. They had their grains. They ate nicely. They slept nicely. Now industry came and everybody left their crops. They go to stay in the city. Stay in a very very austere and positions. They have food, they have everything, but it's not actually very disturbing situation. So the point is what, now instead of having this, the vital energy of human energy, Prabhupada is writing here. So vital energy of human being, the more they will be unrest and dissatisfaction in people in general. This is actually what is happening. People, they are really very unhappy. They don't know, because even if they are working in a software company also, it's not actually what they need. They are thinking we are getting some luxury, but mind, it is completely in unrest. They're getting money, they want to enjoy, but they don't know how to enjoy also. Because what happens is, they they're just satisfying their senses, but that is not real happiness. Satisfaction of senses is not satisfaction of the heart. Satisfaction of mind is also not satisfaction of heart. So all their hearts remain unhappy only. So no matter how much you get satisfaction with your senses and mind satisfaction comes, go for entertainment, some entertainment parks, you have some exciting events, jumbo, you have pseudo divings, and you have jumpings, and so many different varieties to satisfy their mind and senses are there. But heart is vacant. That is the problem here. So that is only with Krishna. That is only with Bhagavatam. That is only with holiness. So no matter how much a person is successful, materially rich, and is a celebrity, and he has a big movies and big money, big cars, so many followers, but heart is not satisfied. That is not possible. That is only possible if somebody can peacefully sit and take his bead bag and chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. So that is the time a person is really very heart is satisfied. So you may be a big celebrity, you are a big rich businessman, you are a big cricketer, or you are a big politician. You may be very big in the society, but unless you have your bead bag and you have not chanted your 16 rounds in the morning, don't expect that your heart will be satisfied. This we should be very clear for ourselves. We are clear that yes, this is the only thing that will make me happy in life, that I need to chant. All our problem is because our heart is dissatisfied. As long as heart is dissatisfied, we are in a dream world. We are trying to satisfy our heart with replacing with so many other things. Why people sit in front of TV? Why people go for so many other places and visit so many things and all? Only one purpose. They want to satisfy their heart, but they only end up in satisfying mind and senses, not heart. Heart will be satisfied with Krishna. So this they don't understand. They make a big mistake here. And this is what is Prabhupada is trying to explain. We'll see two more shloka. Ata Vishwesha Vishwatman Vishwamurti Svakesha में स्नेह पाशम चिंदी दृढ़म पांडे. Actually, these two shlokas answer very important question, especially this shloka. We'll read the purport and we'll see how much we can get it. O Lord of the universe, soul of the universe, O personality of the form of the universe, please therefore sever my tie of affection for my kingsmen and the Pandavas and Rishnis. Purport. A pure devotee of Lord is ashamed to ask anything in self-interest from the Lord. The householders are sometimes obliged to ask favors for Lord, being bound by the ties of family affection. Srimati Kunti Devi was conscious of this fact, and therefore she prayed to the Lord to cut off the affectionate ties from her own kinsmen, the Pandavas and Rishnis. The Pandavas are her own sons, and Rishnis is the members of her parental family. Krishna was equally related to both the families. Both the families required the Lord's help because both were dependent devotees of the Lord. Srimati Kunti wished Sri Krishna to remain with her sons, the Pandavas, but By his doing so, her parental house would be bereft of his benefit. All these partialities trouble the mind of Kunti, and therefore she desires to cut off the affectionate ties. This is one of the reasons Prabhupada is giving. And then Prabhupada further says, pure devotee cuts out the limited ties of. So first reason is saying, okay, no, whether you stay here, I'll be in trouble. I will be. They will be in trouble if you stay there. This people will be in trouble, and for me, both are important. And another thing is, this actually is very important that but householders are sometimes obliged to ask favors from the Lord, being bound by the ties of family affection. Without family affection, unless somebody is in a very, very higher state of mode of goodness, you will not be able to take care of the family. It's not possible. The affection is very much needed. And I have seen sometimes in the train or when we stay at our centers, we see neighbor and they're taking care of the children. And children, they have their own demands. And I was thinking how they are able to fulfill all the demands of children. And they have every time they have new things, and mother is very patiently fulfilling. I was thinking, unless there is some affection, unless very strong attachment, who will care? Go to hell. I'll not do what you want. I was thinking, why this fellow is already a demon. Small demons are there, and you have to go on fulfilling their demands. So sometimes very difficult. But Lord has made this. So the system like that. Otherwise, it is very difficult. There should be attachment. Otherwise, there is strong bondage. Otherwise, it is very difficult. And no, till 3-4 years age, I know everything mother has to do for the child. How difficult it is. I mean, there's no personal. For us, whatever, especially if you don't have any of these things, it is so easy to live. Whenever you want, whatever you want, whenever you have quite some freedom. But if you have some bondage, in the train, in the bus, or anytime you want to travel and all, we see the children very. And I feel sometimes grateful to my mother how she tolerated and did all these things. But anyway, the pure devotee cuts off the limited ties of affection for his family and widens his activities of devotional service for all forgotten souls. The typical example is the band of 6 Goswamis who followed the path of Lord Chaitanya. All of them belong to the most enlightened and cultured, rich families of higher caste, but for the benefit of the masses of population, they left their comfortable homes and became mendicants. To cut off all family affection means to broaden the field of activities. Without doing this, no one can be qualified as a Brahmana, a king, a public leader, or a devotee of the Lord. The personality of Godhead is an ideal king, showed this by example. Sri Ramchandra cut off the ties of affection for his beloved wife to manifest the quality of an ideal king. So this is why we have to cut off means so that we can become affectionate to broader amount of people. We will be able to really show affection for so many other people also if we do this thing. This is what is the reason why they have to cut off the ties. It's not that they're hard-hearted. They are more compassionate. Their compassion is broadened. It's not just with the family like that. It is not hard-hearted like impersonalist. Such personalities as a Brahmana, a devotee, a king, or a public leader must be very broad-minded in discharging their respective duties. Srimati Kunti Devi was conscious of this fact, and being weak, she prayed to be free from such bondage of family affection. The Lord is addressed as the Lord of the universe or the Lord of the universal mind, indicating his all-powerful ability to cut the hard knot of family affection. This is how we can cut: sincerely chanting. It will automatically cut. No need to do anything. Only thing, holy name is so powerful. Any affection for family, any attachment, any bad habits, any other problems, all the thing, only one solution. Just sincerely chanting. Unnecessarily attachment will be cut. Not that you will become completely hard stone. No, you'll be very affectionate, but will not be attached. That's what happens. Therefore, it is sometimes experienced that the Lord, out of his special affinity towards a weak devotee, breaks the family affection by force of circumstance arranged by his all-powerful energy. By doing so, he causes the devotee to become completely dependent on him, thus clears the path for his going back to Godhead. So I will just read these two purports and then our prayers are done. So I will just read, then I will share. So this is the this is the important prayer. This is what Kunti Maharani is wishing. All this prayer she offered, and now she is putting her request. She glorified Krishna all the time. Now only one request she is doing. What is that request? Vaimenanna Vishaya Matirmadupataya Sakatrati Muddhato Madham Gange Ogam Tanmati. This is the request. When she is telling Vipada Santa, that is not actually, that is her confidence on the Lord. It is her trust she is putting on Lord. All that is only glorifying. After glorifying so much, at the end you offer, okay, now my dear Lord, now let us come to the point. This is what I want. I already glorified you. Now please listen what I want also. What she is telling, Lord of Madhu, as the Ganges forever flows to the sea without hindrance, let my attraction be constantly drawn upon you without being diverted to anyone else. So, in the end, after so many prayers, now she is putting her request. There is only one request. Very simple but very important request. This is what we have to pray. My dear Lord, as Ganges flows to the sea without hindrance, let my attraction be constantly drawn onto you without being diverted to anything else. So, no, nothing in this world should draw, which is so difficult. So, Prabhupada, perfection of pure devotional service is attained when all attention is diverted towards the transcendental loving service of the Lord. Cut off the ties of all other affections does not mean complete negation of the finer elements. The affection for someone else is not possible. A living being, whoever he may be, must have this feeling of affection for others because this is a symptom of life. Symptoms of life such as desire, anger, hankering, feeling of attraction, etc. cannot be annihilated. Only the objective has to be changed. Desire cannot be negated. But in devotional service, the desire is changed only for the service of the Lord in place of desire for sense gratification. The so-called affection for family, society, country, etc. consists of different phases of sense gratification. When this desire is changed for the satisfaction of Lord, this is called devotional service. So very simple, not so easy to apply. You just have to desire. Now, any prayer or anything we do, we want to please our senses and mind. My family should be nice, my dear Lord. Give good health to my family members. Let them nicely serve you. Let them be in a good state. Let them get jobs. Let them get married. Let them uh, everything should be fine for them, and then for me also everything fine. So it's all still selfishness. It is not in a prayer. What our prayer should be? No, this is the prayer. What is the prayer? Kunti is telling, let my attention go to you. That's all. In the Bhagavad Gita, we can see, of course, that can be prayed initially. We are not in pure devotional state, but that's what Prabhupada is telling me here. That the perfection of pure devotional service attained when attention is diverted towards the transcendent. So this is what is pure devotional service attention. Perfection in that. Slowly we have to come. At least we should know what is the perfection. That this is what I have to pray one day. This is not just for myself. Lord should be the center. Let Lord be pleased. That should be coming eventually. So initially when we come, we still are self-conscious. But me and mine. Eventually, we will start thinking about Lord. What pleases Lord? Let me start doing it. Sometime at least on festivals, we can start doing it. Why festivals? Narsim Chaturdashi is come. Festival is what? Festival is more consciously doing for the pleasure of Lord. So Nam Narsingadev. So more consciously, let me do something to please Lord Narsingadev. Which we normally we chant Narsim prayers, we do something for Lord Narsingadev. But on that day, we try to be more conscious. In the Bhagavad Gita, we can see that it was just to satisfy his own personal desires that Arjuna refused to fight his brothers and relations. So it was for himself only. But when he heard the message of the Lord, Srimad Bhagavad Gita, he changed decision, serve the Lord. That's all. Center changed. For his doing so, he became famous devotee of the Lord, for it is declared in all scriptures that Arjuna attained spiritual perfection by devotional service to the Lord in friendship. The fighting was there, the friendship was there, Arjuna was there, and Krishna was there, but Arjuna became a different person by devotional service. Therefore, the prayers of Kunti also indicate the same categorical change in activities. Srimati Kunti wanted to serve the Lord without diversion, and that was her prayer. This is what is to be prayed. Kunti wanted to serve the Lord. The unalloyed devotion is the ultimate goal of life. Our attention is usually diverted to the service of something which is non-godly and are not in the program of the Lord. When the program is changed onto the service of the Lord, that is to say that the senses are purified in relation with the service of the Lord. It is called pure unalloyed devotional service. Srimati Kuntidevi wanted that perfection and prayed for it from the Lord. Her affection for the Pandavas and Vishnus is not out of the range of devotional service, because the service of the Lord and the service of devotees are uh, identical. Sometimes service to the devotee is more valuable than the service of the Lord. But here, the affection of Kunti Devi for Pandavas and Vishnus was due to family relation. This tie of affection in terms of material relation is the relation of Maya, because the elements of the body or the mind are due to influence of external energy. Relations of the soul established in relation with the Supreme Soul are factual relations. When Kunti Devi wanted to cut off the family relations, she meant cut off the relation of the skin. The relation is the cause of material bondage, but the relation of the soul is the cause of freedom. This relation of the soul to the soul can be established by via medium of the relation with the Supreme Soul. Seeing in the darkness is not seeing, but seeing by the light of the sun means to see the sun and everything else which was unseen in darkness. That is the way of devotional service. Very nice analogy Prabhupada is giving. If you want to see, we need to see. We can see with the help of sun. Similarly, relation with anybody is in relation with Krishna. First, Krishna should be there. With Krishna, we should have relation in line with Krishna. So, if we are seeing means we have to see sun should be there. In the sun, we have to see. Darkness, anyway, we cannot see. So, sunlight should be there. In relation to sunlight, I can see all the objects. In relation with Krishna, I should have relation with all the living entities. The last loka of her prayers, then we'll see how with Sri Krishna Krishna Saka Vishnu Shabhava Nidit Rajanyamam Sadhana Pavarka Virya Govinda Godvija Surarti Haravatara Yogeshwara Kilogro Bhavan Namaste. O Krishna, O friend of Arjuna, O chief among the descendant of Vishnu, you are the destroyer of all these political parties which are disturbing elements of this earth. Your powers are never deteriorated. You are the proprietor of transcendental abode, and you descend to relieve the distress of the cows, the brahmanas, and the devotees. You possess all mystic powers, and you are the proprietor of entire universe. You are the Almighty Godhead, and I offer my respectful obeisances. So, in summary, actually, the Supreme Lord Sri, the summary of the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna is made herein by Srimati Kunti Devi. The Almighty Lord has his eternal transcendental love, where he is engaged in keeping Suravi cows. He is served by hundreds and thousands of goddess of fortune. He descends to the material world to reclaim his devotees and to annihilate the disturbing elements, the groups of political parties and the kings who are supposed to be in charge of administrative work. He creates, maintains, and annihilates by his unlimited energies, and still he is always full with powers and does not deteriorate in potency. The cows, the brahmanas, and the devotees of the Lord are all objects of his special attention, because they are very important factor for general welfare. of living things. So here, this is a conclusion where it is said that how Krishna is coming and performing all these activities. So I completed, but there are few things which I will share, and because there are so many more to go in this chapter. We'll take few purports. We'll try to complete how Yudhishthir Maharaj is feeling when Krishna is living, and then we'll give some homework. Sutta Vacha. Sutta Goswami said, the Lord, thus hearing the prayers of Kunti Devi composed in choice words by his glorification, mildly smiled. That smile was as enchanting as his mystic power. The Lord did not speak anything, he just gave a smile. That's all. So, this is very interesting. After so much Kunti prayed, and Krishna is just smiling. Anything that is enchanting in the world is said to be representation of Lord. The conditioned souls who are engaged in trying to lord it over the material world are also enchanted by his mystic powers, but his devotees are enchanted in different way by the glories of the Lord, and his merciful blessings are upon them. His energy is displayed in different ways, as electric energy works in manifold capacities. Srimati Kunti Devi has prayed to the Lord just to initiate a fragrance of his glories. All his devotees worship him in that way by chosen words, and therefore the Lord is known as Uttama Shlok. No amount of chosen word is sufficient to enumerate the Lord's glory, and he is satisfied by such prayers as the Father is satisfied even by the broken linguistic attempts of the growing child. The word Maya is used both in the sense of delusion and mercy. Here in the word Maya is used in the sense of Lord's mercy upon Kunti Devi. So now few points I wanted to share, which I will take now, which are very helpful because now I completed. So at least some things are easy. Now we how false ego is driven, how people are driven by the false ego, and it is driving people into vain, and they want to become independent in this material world. So, but Pandavas are the luckiest men because for all their luck, they have made themselves totally dependent on Lord's mercy, His grace. So, to depend on someone's mercy in the material world, Prabhupada, right, is the sign of bad luck, but it's not in a transcendental relationship. In the transcendental relationship with the Lord is the greatest good fortune. This is now there is a price for easy lifestyle. If we are ready to if we are fortunate, we have to work hard. We are working hard. There is some price for if we are in a cozy life. Easy life is a price, but hard work there is a result. Arrogance and arrogant are doomed to fail. So, but humanity's attempt to gain independence from God. So sorry, this humanity's attempt to gain independence from God, laws of nature, it is actually made miserable life for many of the people. They call proudly themselves. Actually, this is a demonic attempt. What is that? They say the progress of experiential science. That's what they call. But people are destroying themselves and the world because of this. They say we will try to figure out ourselves because they feel that we can do it on ourselves without the help of Lord. They have so much faith on their own intelligence. That is a problem. How we can put so much faith on our intelligence, which is contaminated with lust? That is Now what happens is, so with all these impressive achievements, people are destroying only themselves. They have increased human suffering many times. And Prabhupada here actually, Prabhupada explains about Ravana. He is trying to make a staircase to heaven, and directly he's trying. So even then, uh, even the demonic means from Ravana time there were such attempts. Scientists have not stopped trying to forcefully restore. They are also trying to create a paradise here. So there is, like it is said that Adam and Eve, no, they took the fruit from this good and bad tree. So which, what happens is, it is continuing to bear fruit, good and bad. And but there is a promise that future will be nice, we will be very happy. And all these things are done independent of God. So all the attempts to exist independent of the God, they all end in destruction, self-destruction. Now, because the destroying the root of our existence, we are destroying ourselves. What is the root of our existence? Lord only. We are destroying the root. Then how can we expect that we will be happy? How can we not destroy? Now, people think that God, they, uh, they think themselves God. they are they are thinking the more happy, the more unhappy, and the more uh, they are engaging in darkness and the meaninglessness of life. This is actually what is happening. Now, modern science is actually collective attempt of mankind to protect ourselves from the or of this jealous Lord. They feel like that Lord has created so many bad things here, I have to set it right. So he's jealous and he's capricious, and who condemns people to innumerable sufferings, and we have to take his position. And Darwin's theory of evolution, it is a legitimate attempt of the people to prove that no, people have appropriated their place. We are the top of evolution. Now we are need to make everything proper. No need to be grateful to anyone. No need to grateful to the creator, because there is no creator. It's all by evolution. So this is what actually people feel. And uh, and they felt free also after this. These are the effect. These are the efforts they are making to, uh, they are seeing there are flaw in the design of the Lord, and we need to have an very nice environment and everything. So anyway, so what is the point here is, we cannot expect favor from nature if it, it is actually we have to do something for the Lord, then only it happens. So otherwise, we should not think that okay, earth will rapidly turn into a promised paradise. No, it is not going to change like that. So this is one point, and these are from the purports only. I'm just little elaborating. There's some points. Actually, there are so many things, few things I'm trying to address. What type of mentality these people are having, and what Kunti Maharani interesting and Prabhupada is telling in the purports. And all advancement in modern science is designed to relieve us from struggle for existence, but it is only increasing our stress levels. So modern science, which is supposed to make life easier, but instead it made life much more difficult. There's so much struggle. And now so many children here, as soon as school starts, you don't find them playing in front in the streets and all. Everybody is running to the tuitions and they have to sit and do assignments, homework. And schools, because out of competition from each other, they want to force upon children something more, so that the parents will think that we are doing so much for your child, so send more children to the schools. And teachers are forcing, and then There are tuitions, there are assignments, so many things for the children. They're from childhood only stress. And previously it was just before exams, okay, you are intense. Otherwise, you can play. After school, you come, throw your bag, happily play. And in between, you have tuitions. Just 1 hour you go for tuitions, complete your homework. Once your homework done is Saturday, Sunday, you are more. Second Saturday, holidays come, 2 months holidays, nothing doing. So, but now it is so much, especially in cities. I see children. I don't see sometimes they are busy with their so many things. So all these advertisement promise to have a better future is cheating actually. And especially this advertising is imposing the ideas that is impossible to do without them. So some object are shown. Without this, it is impossible. You cannot do your life. And force people to spend their money. And they always show this material success also. So, but and it has science actually it spared humans the need of physical labor, but what it has done is it actually but it increased the mental tension in the mind. So modern people, they accumulate a great deal of stress from childhood only, and they have so many mental, and because of mental problems, the physical problems also comes. This is the blessings of technocrat civilization. And this greatest misfortune of the modern uh, people civilization is not even that they have become physically and mentally weaker, but they have much more dependent on matter than people of the past. So the dependence on matter increased because man's life has become much more complicated, and his way of thinking is much more uh, earth, down to earth only. So suffering from endless stress, we get completely caught up in ourselves, our bodies, and our problems. And stress hormones focuses our consciousness on externals, make people aggressive, and prevent from diving into the experiencing the sublime emotions of gratitude, compassion, love. These are evaporated. Sit in front of mobile, forget everything. Go and sleep, eat. Now, previously, in Western countries, also women were housemakers. They used to cook, and now because it's so expensive, no, so bad. Both husband has to work, and because of which, what happens? They don't cook, and anything they order. So many of the women, they forgot cooking only in the West. They only order everything. You have to order online, put in the microwave and feed. Now, because you didn't cook, there is no love only. It's just you are depending on matter. If you cook, then there is love. If you are not cooking, there is a question of love. You just bring open canned food. Previously, only dogs used to eat canned food. Now everybody eats canned food only. Yeah, canned food, put in microwave, eat it. Order Swiggy, Zomato. So they don't eat fresh food. They cook once in a week, put in the microwave, and then whole week they eat. No matter how much rich person you are, everyday cooking is not possible only there. And you cannot afford for servants. At least in India we can afford. For us also, even though we we are having our center and we don't have much money, still we have somebody who comes and cleans our outside, and we pay for them. We have a maid who cleans outside our center and all. So we are able to afford. But in the West, people cannot afford. They have to do themselves. So at least India, we still have some privileges, fortunately. The point is what? The point is things are little easy here, and they are also, everybody is peaceful and they are happy doing their work, and we have some still best vegetables are there, we can cook and eat, and we still know how to cook. But I don't know how long it will stay in India also. But don't worry, before that we'll all go back home. We just continue hearing Bhagavatam. Before the bad situation comes in India, we are in the spiritual world. So if you don't, then if you, this is the point. So all this price we have to pay if we want easy life. If you don't want easy life, we are in spiritual world. If you want easy life, we'll see very bad things. People want easy life, and these are promised by the scientist. And Prabhupada is writing that the man is, this is the problem. They are going for an easy life, and then they are losing something more and more valuable. And but the highest goal of human civilization is to work under the Lord's guidance and make oneself totally dependent on Him. The highest achievement of perfection, human civilization, is to work hard, at the same time totally dependent on Lord. So two things are very important. So Pandavas ideally followed this. They just work hard, but they were dependent. They are not that they're not working. So they are not lazy people. We had to work. Now hard work is, we say, Array, anyway you are working hard only on childhood. Not that hard work. The hard work were spiritual understanding also, using our intelligence, not just entertainment. So they had excellent qualities, and they did. Now love, next, so easy life is such a risky thing. And so now Pandavas voluntarily made themselves dependent on Lord. Just a second. So Pandavas, they voluntarily they made themselves like that. Okay, what pleases Narsindev most? You can recite Prahlad's prayers. He'll be very happy with that. Brahmadaya Suragana Maniyota Siddho Satvaigatam Kataya Vachasam Pravahi Naraditim Purugana Adnadi Pipro Kim Toshmarasme Harirugrajate. So all these prayers are very beautiful. You can recite all the prayers and along with the translations, he'll be very happy. That's all. Very simple. And if you want to do more, you can offer some fruits, mango juice, do abhishekam for the Lord if you have deities. We don't have. Just recite the prayers. You'll be happy. They're very nice prayers. Try to read the translation. If you have time, you can read purports also. We will see if we get Narsim Chaturdasi. If possible, we'll try to. We get devotees are available. I will take some of the prayers. This is the story we all know. Prayers. And there are other Puranas, some other details in the story are there. If possible, I will see. Otherwise, we'll do the prayers of Prahlad Maharaj. So here, one more important point, which Lord is telling, that this is very important. How Pandavas who are very strong. So now, so there is one story that a person is going to the foreign country, and he called his servants and entrusted his positions. And to one of, he gave uh, some money, and according to each and everybody, he gave them according to strength. He gave them money, and then when he so they one, except for one, everybody they increase their properties. So like that, Lord is also expecting that we also, whatever talents Lord gave us, we also utilize them properly and increase, especially our good qualities. So when now he becomes happy, like no one. So there are little things, but Lord has he has given more. So the same man understand that he is dependent, and only one who can be independent in this world is Lord only. And he who cannot produce all this is it is necessary. And we have few more questions I'll answer. Maybe tomorrow we'll end here. There are some nice stories also. 2-3 stories I wanted to share, which I will do it tomorrow at 7:15. We'll have tomorrow's class because Proji has Bhagavatam. So just few more things only, not so much, but they're very important, very helpful. I'll see, and I have to send the notes also. I'm lazy, Kali Yuga. Thank you very much. We'll end here. Srila Prabhupada